Today I'm going to be covering the case of the murders of Blake and Mary Jo Hadley. On July 16, 2011 in Port St. Lucie, Florida, Blake Hadley, 54, and Mary Jo Hadley, 47, were murdered by Tyler Hadley, their 17-year-old son. 3 years later, he was convicted of the murders and sentenced to life in prison. Tyler decided how he wanted to commit the murders. A few weeks prior to committing them, he even told friends exactly what he was planning to do afterwards by throwing a huge party, and that this has never been done before. Shortly after noon, Tyler wrote on his Facebook wall, "Party at my crib tonight, maybe." After Tyler's parents returned home that day, he hid their phones and locked their black Labrador, who is suspected would defend his parents, in a closet. Shortly before 5 p.m. on the evening of July 16, 2011, Tyler took 3 pills of ecstasy and then stood behind his mother, Mary Jo, as she worked on her computer in the family room. He attacked his mother with the back end of a claw hammer first. Hearing the screams, his father rushed out of the bedroom to see what was happening. Blake saw Tyler attacking his mother and froze at the sight, exclaiming, "Why?" Tyler replied, "Why the fuck not?" before fatally attacking his father with a hammer. After murdering them, he dragged their bodies into the master bedroom and spent 3 hours cleaning up the blood and throwing household items that reminded him of them on top of their bodies. Tyler first invited people to his party at 12:15 p.m. on the day of the murders, hours before he murdered his parents. He funded the party with his dead parents' credit cards. He was spotted at an ATM when his photo was taken as he pulled cash out of the account. And then he picked up some friends. Around 60 people attended the party that night, and several are alleged to have noticed the smell of dead bodies. During the party, Tyler apparently told several people about what he had done. Tyler went on a short walk with a friend, Michael Mandel, and confessed the crime. After returning to the party, Mandel discovered the bodies of Blake and Mary Jo in the master bedroom. Mandel did not leave the party immediately. He continued to spend hours with Tyler and even took a selfie with him. 4 hours later, Mandel left the party and called a local crime hotline to report the murders. News of the crime was then spread by word of mouth. Hadley was arrested early the next morning. Tyler Hadley was born on December 16, 1993. He was 17 years old at the time of the murders. During his teenage years, Tyler began skipping school and taking drugs. His sentencing documents indicate that he had been involved in crimes prior to these murders. Tyler had participated in drug use, sales, and purchases, and had been criminally detained for arson, vandalism, thefts, aggravated battery, and then murder. There was also a $15,000 civil suit pending after Tyler had hit and injured a child while driving his father's car in June of 2010. Prior to the murders, he had been enrolled in an outpatient drug treatment program, which proved to be unsuccessful as he continued to use drugs. Knowing he would soon turn 18 and desperate to get him help, his parents had recently found an inpatient treatment program for him. This was later reported to be the motive for the murders, as Tyler did not want to participate in the program. Tyler pled no contest to 2 counts of first-degree murder, resulting in his conviction. As Tyler was a minor, he could not be sentenced to death by Florida law, and capital punishment for minors had been abolished nationwide in 2005. In 2014, he was initially sentenced to 2 consecutive terms of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. While in jail awaiting sentencing, Tyler had spent his time signing autographs for fellow inmates. He would take a news article about the murder and write, "It's hammer time," across the article and sign it with the self-proclaimed nickname, Hammer Boy. In April 2016, his sentencing was overturned by an appeal judge who stated the lower court did not consider the correct alternative to a life sentence. Miller versus Alabama had just recently been handed down by the Supreme Court, which changed how juvenile murders were to be treated within the judicial system. When sentencing occurred, the review mechanism was not in place, and Tyler was entitled to have judicial review at some point in the future, now that the law had evolved. In December 2018, Hadley was resentenced to life in prison, but this time the judicial review mechanism was properly put into place. Hadley is imprisoned at Gulf Correctional Institution. Craziest thing, I believe, is to bring a child into this world, and they're the ones to take you out. And not only did Tyler Hadley did that, he threw a party afterwards and apparently decided to sign autographs while he was in jail awaiting his sentencing. What a horrible, horrible thing.
Afternoon marks the next chapter in the case against a Port St. Lucie teenager accused of killing his parents and throwing a party with their bodies still inside the home. Covering St. Lucie County with the largest news team on the Treasure Coast, John Shaman is live outside the courthouse where a grand jury is discussing the case of Tyler Hadley. John?
Well, good afternoon, Mike. This case gained national attention not because of the brutality of the alleged crime, but also because of the circumstances surrounding it. You may recall back in July, 17-year-old Tyler Hadley was arrested by police. He is charged with bludgeoning his parents to death with a framing hammer inside their home on Grandeur Avenue in Port St. Lucie. Investigators found Blake and Mary Jo Hadley buried underneath some household items in a locked bedroom. Now, earlier that day, Tyler Hadley had gone onto Facebook inviting friends over to his home for a party. According to an arrest affidavit, one of the partygoers told investigators that Hadley had confided in him that he had killed his parents. Now, right now, Hadley faces 2 counts of second-degree murder with a weapon. Prosecutors are presenting their case to a grand jury at this hour to try to bump up those charges to first-degree murder. Now, because Hadley was 17 at the time of the alleged crime, this case is not a death penalty case. If an indictment is handed down this afternoon, we, of course, will bring that to you. We're live this noon in Fort Pierce. John.
That's all I have for you guys on this one. I will see you in the next one.